Reid, you were on this show over a year ago now. It was a little while back. I think
way back in December 2018. Yeah, thanks for having me back on. This is great.
Of course, 2 years ago. Oh my gosh, yeah. But Reid Nicewonder of the YouTube channel Cordial Curiosity is back. So Reid, welcome back. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks. Yeah, glad to be here.
Yeah, and so Reid, you're one of those street epistemologists that we hear so much about in these corners of the internet. You've been doing Cordial Curiosity for a while. Actually, you and I did a street epistemology podcast for a bit before Truth Wanted was a thing, and that was cool. That's still out there.
Good times.
Good times. Yeah, and I want to bring you back on for a couple of things. One, of course, keeping up with you, seeing what you've been up to, it's been like being a street epistemologist in this pandemic. But also there's been a lot of new cool stuff happening in the street epistemology world. And you actually created a timeline to prepare for this particular conversation. So I'm really excited to get to that. But first, like, what are you doing with your channel, and what has life been like in the new world, the brave new world?
Sure. Yeah. So basically we, did our show back in 2018, December, and 2019 was a big year for SE. In general, we started with, in May, we created a nonprofit for Street Epistemology.
Yeah.
Street Epistemology International. The executive director is Anthony Magdabosco. I'm president, and Tim is our vice president. And we have a few provisional board members coming up soon, so you'll know about them soon. But that was a great thing that happened.
Yeah, President Nicewonder, folks. He is president of a new international street epistemology organization. So really exciting stuff there. What has the organization been doing? What else has been going on?
It's been doing a lot of stuff. I'll get to that. I'll just go in chronological order.
He's prepared. Guys, I'm not kidding. Reid made was it like a spreadsheet? Like you were like, I was like, hey, let's talk about this. And you're like, okay, let me get my shit together and just create a whole ass document. I was like, okay, awesome. So
it's just a little list on notes. So in September 2019, a new book, How to Have Impossible Conversations, came out. Basically, the sequel to the original from Peter Boghossian, How a Manual for Creating Atheists. So this new book has chock full of new evidence of the techniques that we've been doing, and a lot more techniques as well. And it's just a more generalizable book about talking with people about various claims, and it's been really good. Yeah.
And you're mentioned in that book as a source, right? I think
it's just Anthony.
Is it just Anthony? I thought you were in there too. Oh, okay, never mind. But
so.
I'll be honest, I did not read the book. I have not picked up the book for myself. I probably should, right? Like, I feel like that's the thing I should do. I never got it.
I recommend it. It's okay. It's good.
All right.
Tons of good stuff.
Maybe we'll have to work on getting me one later. But anyway, continue with your fantastic timeline here.
So the same month, another SE content creator started on YouTube, Abstract Activist. His name is Nathan. So he's been doing really good stuff over the years.
Cool.
His main thing is using the SE survey, talking with people, and then he does kind of like a confidence calibration at first, does the survey, and then talks about a specific claim. And the survey has a bunch of abstract principles around epistemology and why should we believe and when should we change our mind and stuff like that.
Yes. And this is interesting because, a kind of a criticism of SE for a while has been like, well, what is kind of the research on this method, right? Like what are some stats we can pull out? And SE really couldn't do that for a long time. We could point to other similar things. We could talk to about concepts that have been researched, but SE itself had not been very well researched. So even though this is, again, a layman kind of getting some data on it, it's still something. It's more than what we had before, which is cool.
Yeah, there's probably over 30, 40 techniques in how to have impossible conversations, and the individual techniques have evidence for them, but when you put them all together and you have multiple conversations with someone, that's something we're trying to test and get more evidence for the effectiveness of that using funds from the nonprofit. So stay tuned for that.
Very cool.
Later in October, we did our first kind of major tabling thing at Politicon 2019. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And you went to CPAC, right?
Yeah, that was later in February 2020.
Yeah.
Right before things, hit the fan.
Right.
So that right at the end there before that was very interesting.
Yeah, there is a video of you and a couple of other SE folks talking to people at CPAC. I do recommend. Actually, there's 2 videos of you right now. You should probably watch both. It's very interesting.
Yeah, and Tyrone was there. I was there, and we met up with Raul. He came by for a day, and a lot of that is also on my Twitch channel. So if you want to see every conversation, that's all there.
Yes. We should talk about Tyrone is from Let's Chat. That's his YouTube channel. You can check him out. And Raul's channel, what's his channel's name? I can't remember off the top of my head, but he has another channel as well. There's a bunch of people in this community that you should definitely check out. But anyway, next up.
Back in February 2020, I also had big plans of like starting a local meetup group for Los Angeles street epistemology. And my first one, I met up with this guy named Dolly, who goes by Juggling Lessons. And, he's been very active now in the SE community. He does regular SE practices with some other people on the Discord, which has now been starting since July. It's like every week, there's like 2 or 3, hours long practice sessions where anybody can make a claim or question someone else's claim. And that's been a regular thing now. It's been really nice.
Very cool. Very good.
Yeah. Back in March 2020, we did a new SE website redesign. That was nice. What else? More content creators happened over the summer, like I Hear You and Quinn Questions.
Mm-hmm.
The SE survey became online as like an online thing you can check off. So that's something we did in September 2020. Back in November 2020, I usually live in Los Angeles. When the pandemic started, I kind of went back to Virginia, then down to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But then I wanted to, vote locally. So I went back to LA.
Good for you.
So then I met up with Dolly, who I met earlier in the year, and we tried, outdoor public SE with we got a bigger table, like a super long table. We got headphones for people, and we got, we're wearing masks the whole time, and it seemed to work out okay for like a month, but it was like less foot traffic, so it wasn't ideal.
Yeah, so that's kind of been, I gather that's a pretty common experience for a lot of people. They, obviously not as many people are out in general, and it's already kind of strange enough if you've never actually done it, guys, having a camera out and a table and somebody on the other end saying, "Hey, do you want to talk to us for a conversation like on YouTube?" That's already kind of a hard sell. It's not an easy thing to do. And then with everything else going on, I can't imagine it makes it any easier.
Yeah. My usual place, Runyon Canyon, we started there, but then they kicked us out because of COVID restrictions. Like it was very locked down in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we found another park that was, not really that locked down. But Los Angeles people, they're kind of, most people, well, some of them are very open to like being on camera. So
that's true. That's true. Being in LA, that's probably a different scene than maybe being like in Texas, for example. Something I want to talk to you about, because around this time as well, you started doing street epistemology conversations through VR, right?
That was happening after Los Angeles did another super hard lockdown after, around November. So it's like, well, now we can't do anything outside. So I started thinking of other ways, and this new Oculus Quest came out, and a few of us have been practicing on the app Big Screen, which is an app to like watch movies with friends and stuff. But there's also, you can just chat with people in environments, so that's nice.
And so, what has the conversations been like doing it VR versus like in person? Do you notice that there is any difference in the quality there, or like is it kind of the same, just in a different environment?
The quality's been pretty consistent and pretty good. Although we do get a lot more kids though. And we found out we need to restrict the number of people in the room to just maybe, just us and one other person who happens to come in. So that helps as well. Yeah,
I can imagine. Plus, that probably makes it harder to verify people's ages and stuff in general, right?
Yeah, hard to tell.
Yeah, because in person, all you can be is like, all right, well, I'm not sure. Can you show me an ID? Like, it could do that. I don't know. You've probably never asked anybody for an ID, but like, at least that's theoretically possible. Like online, things are definitely a lot harder for sure.
Yeah. A few other major things with the nonprofit, we back in February, we made it possible for people to submit funding requests to the organization. So if they want to do like a, call-in show, or like a, go out in public, and they can buy equipment, and we'll help people fund that, or whatever project they want to do related to SE. We'll help fund whatever project they want to do.
Yes. And so that means, folks, if you guys are interested in street epistemology, definitely get in touch with Reid. Check them out. They want to meet you. They want to know. They're always looking for more people who are interested in doing this kind of stuff. So it's very cool.
Yep. And in December of just last year, we started this huge self-taught, SE course development process. So we're wanting to make a self-directed course for people to take, compiling all of the techniques and topics that SE has become over the years, and we're getting that process started. And we submitted we asked for topic submissions back in December, and we got like hundreds, and so we had to process all that, and we're now starting the writing process of the modules. And we also just announced that we need writers for the modules to start writing this course. So it's going to take a few months, but after it's done, it'll be really great.
There you go. So that's kind of a year in SE, right? I mean, yeah, that's a lot of stuff going on. Very, very cool. We talk about SE a lot on this show, but now I've got, the president of the only street epistemology organization on the show right now. So if you guys, callers, have questions about street epistemology, this is a good episode to do it. We had Anthony Magnabosco on a little bit a while ago. Reid is another guy who is really good at this stuff. I would say definitely better than me as far as applying the actual SE method. I do not strictly do SE on this show because I'm running a call-in show is a bit different from, just having your regular conversations. Because Reid, you have had conversations with people that have lasted like an hour, and you upload like some of that stuff onto YouTube. We can't do that on this show. We really can't, because we're trying to keep like it entertaining, and also, try to get to everybody who wants to talk to us and stuff. So there's a bit of limitations there. So I recommend, if you're serious about SE, don't watch just this show. Definitely check out some of the great content creators out there who are doing the method a bit more involved than what we can possibly do in a format like this. So really cool stuff. Reid, I wanted to ask you if you've seen this happening. There's been this thing. So, Texas just went through a very, very tough winter storm. Actually, I was just joking with you about it because I posted on Twitter. I just got my water back finally. Well, I had water, but it was cold water since last week. I finally got hot water back in my apartment. It is now just only hot water. It does not get cold. There is no cold water running through my pipes. I don't know what that means, and I don't know how that's going to affect the overall, water infrastructure of my apartment complex. I have no idea, and it's not my job to figure it out. But that's my situation right now. Anyway, so there was a lot of people that were posting when the snow was around here in Texas of how the snow isn't real snow. Have you seen this? Yeah,
I have seen this. Yeah,
and the sad thing is, Reid, it's more than one. Like, it's not just one person posting and talking about it. It's like a lot of people, and they would do these tests. They would pick up pieces of the snow, and put lighters underneath it, and we're like, see, look, it's turning black or brown, like it's not melting. And then some people would put them in cups and put them in the microwave, and would say, look, it's not melting. And and everything was saying, oh, this was Biden putting making snow happen in Texas or something. I don't know what it was, but Bill
Gates is the guy
or Bill Gates, right? Yeah, that's the other one too. But anyway, so you've seen this stuff, right? Like, what did you think about some of these videos? Because I wonder, right, if somebody called into this show and asked about, hey, do you think this snow is real? Because I think it's fake. I wonder what kind of questions I would ask. What would be a good SE response? Just as an example, to someone saying, hey, the snow is obviously not real. I think this is super fake.
Hard to say, with very, extraordinary claims like that. I have to hypothesize that, the literal belief itself is not the main, motivational factor for espousing the claim. It's like they're doing this on a social network, and they're doing it for, I think it's on TikTok. So there's like the hearts and like the view count there.
Yeah.
And there's just a culture of like, the more extraordinary or just the more out there things that you can get people's attention for, it's like that stuff is, the incentive. So if you're going to have wild and they're always like very crazy, and like very over excited about it. So that stuff, if I'm scrolling through TikTok and I see something like that, I might watch it for a while. And then that, it's like a selection process for, content.
Yes.
So that's just what happens.
This is what scares me about TikTok. I think TikTok is going to start the apocalypse, or at least something adjacent to it. Like, I used to think Facebook and Twitter are like the worst things in the world when it comes to spreading like fake information and stuff, and anonymous message boards and stuff like that. And they're awful, they're terrible. But TikTok takes it to another level, because it's not only the most crazy stuff that gets the most popular, but it's all done in a 1-minute format with convincing editing and nice music. And then as soon as you're done watching this crazy thing that you don't even have time to think and reflect and digest what you just saw, you get another video with another crazy thing. And TikTok, I don't know what it is, but and it must be because I'm looking for this stuff too, and I'm just a glutton for punishment. But every single time, Reid Nicewonder, I get on this application, I see the most wildest stuff, the most absolute craziest thing. People talking about not just like the regular stuff that we talk about on here. I'm talking about like there was a guy that said he not only knew about his past life, but also like, we get to choose our parents, because like before we were born, we were sitting in front of a council and we got to see the lives of different people play out, and we got to choose our parents. And it had like 300,000 likes or something, like way more, like absurdly too many. Like that's just like one example of like the hundreds and hundreds of just weird stuff you see on there. There's witch talk is a whole thing. People think they're casting spells and stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. It's really, really wild. And I don't know how to handle it. I don't know what to do.
Witch talk. Wow.
Witch talk is a thing, Reid.
That's a thing, I guess. Yeah. Wow.
Every subculture that you can imagine exists now, thanks to the internet. And what you can't imagine is also there. So very cool. Very cool. This is it. This is the peak humanity right here.
Yeah. That's humans for you.
Yeah, but SE has been kind of doing some stuff and related to TikTok. There's been a couple people who have been trying to do a lot of TikTok responses and stuff. And I will say it's hard, because nobody wants to be that guy to be like, hey, actually, this is wrong. Because like you're generally not super popular compared to some of the other people, right? Yeah,
I'm a fan of Hank Green from Vlog Brothers and SciShow and all that. So he does good TikTok responses. Follow him.
Yeah. So I don't know. Once again, folks, I'm talking about TikTok again, because TikTok just blows my mind. It blows my mind. And so if you have a claim from TikTok that you would like to talk about on this show, or if you want to talk again about street epistemology, this is the episode to do it. Again, I have Reid Nicewonder, president of Street Epistemology International. And we're going to have a good time tonight. We're going to get to some calls right now. But before we get to the calls, I have to thank our awesome patron of the week. That's right, folks. Every single week, we have an awesome, awesome patron that we get to shout out on this show. Thanks to you guys who donate on patreon.com/truthwanted. All the money that gets donated on Patreon goes directly to funding the show. It helps. I just got this new cable because Pico actually helped break my last one. Actually, I don't know if Pico did it. I think I did it. I think I accidentally rolled my chair over my last headphones and broke them. So I just got some new ones. And that's thanks to you guys who donated on Patreon. So thank you guys for doing that. So I want to give a shout out this week to our patron of the week. Our patron of the week is... Freethinker 215 or 215. Thank you, Freethinker 215, for donating on Patreon. And again, if you would like to donate, patreon.com/truthwanted. All the money goes directly to the show and making it better. So thank you guys for donating on there. Now, Reid, are you ready to take some calls?
I'm ready.